Bonjour, and welcome to the Red Lake Nation College Gikendaasowin Podcast. Join us each week for discussion on topics including culture and language, career exploration, RLNC student spotlights, student projects, and other RLNC services. This week, Red Lake Nation College Student Success and Career Counselor Robin Roy interviews Red Lake Nation College's English professor Taija Noel, conducted on May 18th, 2022. Red Lake Nation College would like to thank the National Endowment for the Humanities for their generous support in the creation of this podcast.
Bonjour, my name is Robin Roy. I am the Career and Transfer Specialist here at Red Lake Nation College. Today's date is May 18th, 2022, and today I am here with Professor Taija Noel and talk about some career interview questions. Taija, would you please give a quick introduction?
Hi, I'm Taija Noel. I'm the English professor here at Red Lake Nation College. Hi, everyone.
Can you give us a little bit about some educational background, maybe a little employment history?
Sure. So I received my master's degree from North Dakota State University in 2018, and then I received my undergrad in English and Mass Communications in 2015, and I moved over here for this position from Fargo.
All right. What is your main profession at this moment?
I'm an English professor.
English. And what are some of the main responsibilities within that?
So my primary responsibility is teaching classes. So I teach a variety of English classes. Composition is a big one. Composition, developmental reading and writing, myths and legends, American literature, creative writing, and argument and exposition. Outside of that, I also take part in committees, different events for the college, that sort of thing.
Okay, cool. How did you become interested in this field, and was it planned?
Well, yes and no. So originally, I had always wanted to be an English professor, and so I knew that was what I wanted to do. But while I was in college, I actually started working for Verizon Wireless, and I worked in sales. And after I finished up my bachelor's degree, I really wasn't sure if I wanted to go back and get my master's. It sounded like a lot of work, right? So actually what happened is I sort of rolled the dice, and I made a deal with myself that I would apply for grad school, and if I got a full ride, I would go. And if I didn't, I would stay where I was and, take the manager position where I was. And I got a full ride. So I quit my job and I went to grad school, and here I am.
Oh, nice. Yeah. What would you say some of the daily challenges are?
As a professor, I would say one thing that's challenging is that students have a lot of things going on in their personal lives in addition to school, and so being able to teach them, but also be supportive of the fact that they have lives outside and things like that, and try to help them balance it is probably a big one.
Yeah. What are other career paths that people can look at in this field?
English is actually sort of surprising, because a lot of people mistakenly think the only thing you can do with English is teach, and that's actually not true. So one thing that you can do is you can be a technical writer, which is essentially writing manuals, things like that. Not the most exciting, but great if you like a set schedule and things like that. It's actually pretty high paying. That's one thing you can do. A lot of businesses actually really want English majors because communication is so important in business. Yes. So there are actually a lot of things like that. Sales is another thing. You learn, all my students will know, you learn persuasion in English. Yeah. And so being able to be persuasive. And so there's actually a lot of call for English majors in a lot of different fields.
Yeah, that's good to know. What would you say you like most about your work?
Teaching. I would say teaching. I love teaching. It's actually really funny. When I was in grad school, and when I started grad school, it was the first time I ever taught, and I remember I was so nervous. And what my teaching teacher had told us is that you would probably know within the first week if teaching was for you or it wasn't, right? She said, you may or may not hear the call. And I remember thinking that was so cheesy, right? But she was right. She was right. On my third day teaching, I heard the call. And I knew right then in that moment that I didn't want to do anything else for the rest of my life.
Cool. All right. What would you say you like least about your work?
What I like least? Paperwork.
Paper.
Yeah. Paperwork, maybe grading. Okay, maybe grading.
Yeah.
It's pretty time consuming, and you want to give good, helpful feedback, but you also can't spend an hour on every paper, and so you have to kind of balance that. So I would say that's probably one of them.
Are you routinely offered professional development opportunities? Yes,
all the time. More than I can handle, to be honest. I have to turn some of them down because I just don't have time. So we get professional development funding. Faculty members do. So we get so much money per year to spend on things like attending conferences, being members of professional organizations, etc. I am a member of NCTE and also 4Cs, which are both English teaching publications. So I'm a member of both of those organizations. I attend the 4Cs conference every year, and I presented the last 2 years as well. There's also a lot of opportunities for different webinars, that kind of thing. Also I'm currently taking a class for the Online Learning Consortium. I'm getting an online teaching certification.
Oh, nice.
And so, this is week 10. This is our last regular week of classes, and then I do my big projects. All kinds of stuff.
Oh, nice. Is that something that you go on your own about to search for these developments, or these recommendations, or? I
would say both. Mandy, who's my supervisor, a lot of times she'll send out emails with different professional development opportunities, which is really helpful. She'll send those out. I get them from other colleagues. And then I also have connections at North Dakota State University, where I got my master's degree because I did teach there for a couple of years. And so like the 4Cs presentation I did this year and last year, both of those were actually brought to me by old colleagues there. So you tend to, hear those, but then there's also usually for every field in teaching, there's some kind of go-to conferences that are typical.
Okay, that's nice. Are there expectations that you had in this career path that differed from reality? Either good, bad, both?
Yes, I would say. One thing that sort of differed is I thought I would have a lot more time. I thought I would have a lot more time, and there just is there are never-ending opportunities for different things to do, whether it's professional development, student tutoring, participating in different community events. There's just always stuff going on, and so it's ongoing. And I didn't realize all of that would be involved, but I really enjoy it.
And that goes to our next question about what advice would you give about time management?
Time management. My first thing would be get a planner. And I don't mean use your Google Calendar or one on your phone. I don't know why it doesn't work as well. Get a hard copy, old school planner, and use it. One thing that I really recommend is writing down your deadlines in advance. So, for example, if you're a student, whether you're a student or a teacher, really, the timeline for when you have to have things done, go through at the beginning of the semester and write down all your major due dates, right? And then as you're looking at your week, you can see all the things that you have due and then break it up into little chunks. Okay, so if I have a 5-page paper due on Friday and it's Monday, I need to write 1 page every day until Friday, things like that. Yeah. So I think, planning that way, having all that just there to look at and breaking things up into manageable chunks is key.
What advice could you give someone about dealing with a hostile work environment?
What advice? I wasn't expecting that question. About dealing with a hostile work environment. I suppose it depends, but the first thing I would say is write everything down, right? Write everything down, when it happened, dates, what happened, and keep that. And then I would, go to your supervisor, HR, tell them what's going on, try to come to a resolution that way. But if you cannot come to a resolution, honestly, find a different job. Mm-hmm. I know that sounds terrible. Yeah. But no, being in a good work environment is so important.
Yes.
You can't really love your work if you're not happy in your work environment. Yes. And it takes a serious toll on your mental health.
Yes. Yeah, I understand that. Having good morale within your employment.
Absolutely. And if you think about it, you spend 8 hours of your day there at least. So you're spending half your waking hours there. You probably spend more time with your coworkers than your family. Mm-hmm. If that sucks, everything sucks. You gotta love yourself more than that.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. How does your job affect your general lifestyle?
I would say my family's sort of gotten used to the fact that everything goes in phases, right? So, finals week, right? Everybody just leaves me alone. Yeah. And so, I have certain times a year where I'm super, super busy and I just don't have time for anything else. But then also I have, time off in the summertime when I can completely devote myself to my family. And so, it goes in waves.
What advice would you give someone that is considering the same career path?
The first thing I would say is shadow. Definitely shadow. Talk to an English teacher or whatever field is you want to teach in, and just ask if you could shadow them for a day or a week or whatever it is, whatever you can make time for. I think having that experience will really tell you if it's a good fit for you or not.
Okay. All right. And then Red Lake Nation College has this new program, the National Summer Transport Institute, that you will be handling. Can you tell us a little more about that program?
Yeah, you bet. So the NSTI program it's pretty exciting. It is a program for Indigenous high school girls going into 10th, 11th, or 12th grade in the fall. And what it is, it's completely grant paid for. It's 3 weeks, Monday through Friday, where we do different classes. So you learn math and science. We do robotics. We do cultural lessons. We have some cool things like that. Actually, one of the days they get to meet a couple actors from Reservation Dogs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Cheese and Willie Jack, I believe. Personally, Willie Jack's my favorite. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we have some stuff like that, and then we also take them on some field trips. The first week, we go to Bemidji, and we do an overnight at the dorms at BSU. We go check out the American Indian Center. We go check out some different transportation careers there. The second week, we do an overnight in Duluth. We get to go on a boat. We get to go to the MnDOT facilities. And then the third week, we spend 3 nights in the cities, and you get to go on a plane. We do a short plane ride. It's like a half hour, but it's still cool.
Yeah.
We go on a plane ride. We check out the MnDOT facilities there. We stay at the U of M. It's really cool. So you can check out some different transportation career options. This is something you can put on your resume. You learn different classes and stuff, different skills. And it can help give you some different ideas of things you could do, after high school, and give you really some direction and a good solid plan for what to do right when you graduate.
Yeah, that's nice. Direction after high school is always important.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's June. It'll go June 6th to June 24th, and the sign up deadline is June 1st. So definitely sign up right now. We've got about 10 spots left. So yeah, definitely check it out if you have, daughters, nieces, cousins, sisters, whatever that might be interested. It's pretty cool. And we can pick you up if you need transportation as well.
Okay. And then people that are interested can just contact you directly.
Yes. Yep. So I'm the program director for it. You can contact me. You can email me at Taija, Taija.Noel, Noel at rlnc.edu, or you can text or call me at 218-382-1354. So yeah, definitely reach out, and I'd be happy to get you signed up.
All right. Yeah, that sounds fun. I have a 16-year-old daughter that might be interested in that, so I'm gonna mention that to her.
Oh, cool. Yes. Bring the flyer home.
Yes,
take it home with you. June 1st.
June 1st. All right. I'll put that down. All right. Also, are there any questions that I didn't ask that you think would be a helpful piece of information?
Not that I can necessarily think of. But yeah, I guess I would just kind of say in closing that I really I really love my career, and if teaching is something that you think might be a good fit for you, just reach out to a teacher, shadow them, check it out, see what it's like. You can get a lot of solid information that way. And regardless of what you do, definitely do what you love.
Yes.
It's life quality is important, and doing what you love makes all the difference in that.
All right. That's all the questions I have for you today. That will finalize our interview. Thank you for coming in, Taija.
Yeah, thanks, Rob.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Be sure to join us next week as we hear from Red Lake Chemical Health Prevention Supervisor, Karen Barrett. A miigwech to the following for their efforts in the creation of this Red Lake Nation College Gikendaasowin Podcast episode. Opening and closing music by Director of Equity, Cultural Education, and Archives, Floyd Buck Jourdain. Opening introduction and closing preview by NEH podcast intern and RLNC student Rebecca Peterson. Our host this episode, Red Lake Nation College Student Success and Career Counselor Robin Roy. Our guest speaker this episode, Red Lake Nation College English Professor Taija Noel. Production by Innovation Center Coordinator Brandon Spears and NEH podcast intern and RLNC student Rebecca Peterson, and the National Endowment for the Humanities for their generous support.